Hello, I'm FriendlyShaco and you were unfortunate enough to click on this video. So I was asked multiple times to record some full gameplay and to make some commentary and explain what I do, why do I do it, and how you can do it yourself. So here I am, doing that. Well then, let's get started. Alright, first mistake already. The game doesn't start in the game itself. It starts very early. We have to take a look at what we picked, what the enemy picked, and how we want to play this. So let's take a look at this. We have our bot lane, we are Cartus Shaco, right? Enemy bot lane is Varus Soraka. Shaco's really shit in lane. Like, especially against poke and sustain character, which Soraka has both. And Varus is poke as well. And we have a Cartus that has limited range and tends to die a lot. So what do we do? We can't really play the lane. So we would like to roam early. One thing we can do is force an early all-in, because they only have poke and sustain. So that doesn't really help in an all-in. So we want to look for either an all-in or just roaming and leaving the Cartus alone on the lane, and preferably in a lane state where he can still farm. Alright, so we start with the normal sickle start I do, which is really helpful for better all-in, because it gives you AD instead of AP and converts your adapting power to AD, which results in even more AD, which is way better, because in an all-in you queue in, you start auto-attacking the enemy, you throw a dagger, which also has AD scaling, so you deal way more damage instead of AP, because AP doesn't give you anything if you start auto-attacking the enemy. Like, it doesn't do anything. Your boxes become stronger, yeah, but like, you're not gonna use a box in all-in really. You can try to place one behind them, but in the early game that's really hard, because the boxes are kinda weak, they fear for a small duration, they see you placing it, so they just run around it. Alright, so what you might be thinking is, why don't I place boxes right now? Why am I not helping my jungle, giving him a leash or anything like that? The thing is, I want to all-in as early as possible. So I want to be able to have my Q and my E on level 2. Which I will not be able to if I start with the box. So I just don't leash with it. Another part is, a lot of laners start with sweeper against me, because they can just sweep the lane and destroy every box I placed. And so you basically use your whole level 1 if you start with box, and you're just like standing there and doing nothing. So yeah, I tend to start with E. Now the problem level 1, especially against these poke lanes, is you're kinda useless. You can't really trade. I mean, I can throw a dagger at them and that's it. But the problem is, if I walk up here and throw a dagger, I will get attacked by Varus, I will get queued by Soraka, so she will heal it herself when she hits me. And my dagger range isn't really that far, so all you can do is just stay behind and watch. Now if they try to engage on your ADC, then you have to react, then you have to walk in and attack and try to force an all-in, or like throw the dagger at them or anything. Now as you see, as soon as you hit level 2 you can force all-ins, because your champion has actually pretty good base stats, especially compared to ADCs and supports. And you can just Q on the enemy and start attacking them, running after them. That's also the reason why I take approach velocity. So during my auto attacks I slow the enemy and I get more move speed, so I can chase them through the whole lane and they can never really escape, even if they flash or anything. So what I'm looking here is to search an all-in. Like, I have to see if Varus throws away his abilities or Soraka throws away her abilities, and then I can collapse on that. So they will just stand there and can only auto-attack me, and I can win the all-in with my better base stats. Now we finally reached level 3, we have all of our basic abilities unlocked. The enemy is pushing into us, our Cartus doesn't have much mana anymore, so we can't really force an ally anymore. The enemy has more minions, our Cartus can't really follow up. So now is the time, what we said in the beginning, we can either all in or roam. So we can't all in anymore. So what do? We roam. And the lane is really good because it's pushing under our towers, so Cartus can still farm, and the enemies can't really all in because they're poke lane, right? What are they gonna do? Like run under the tower and attack him and die? Probably not. So what I do is I just play the box, and I walk around the corner, and the enemy doesn't know if I'm still there over the wall and will queue over the wall every second, or if I'm roaming mid. They have no idea. Like we can see on the minimap, Cartus is still on the tower and he's fine, the enemy is pushing in, he can farm freely on the tower. And what you see me do a lot now is just randomly queue into lanes and try to find an all-in. Because we have the member advantage, as Soraka is still on the bot lane and I'm somewhere else. Additionally, I have my AD support item, which increases my lane. I have 2 summoner spells, which increases my lane as well, as the enemy only has 1. And I have approach velocity, so they can't really run away from me. So it's really easy if I can reach the enemy because he steps forward too much. Then he's basically dead or has to flash or anything and loses half his health. As you see, this kill on Yon here, it would have been impossible if I wouldn't have been there. As it was just that little extra damage I did that was necessary. And he got baited into chasing me. Additionally, it's really nice as you can just place boxes all around the map. And it creates vision for your team. And if an enemy walks into it, he loses some health and you generate some gold with your first strike and with your support item. Now it comes basically down to game knowledge, where you wanna be and where do you think you have most impact. So what I see here is that Viego wants to push the lane. And he also wants to clear the vision in the bot side river. So I go there to assist him. Just watching him and queuing over if he needs me or placing boxes behind him so he can run away if he gets chased. You start clearing enemy vision now and setting up your own vision. Shaco is really good at that because he is really safe as he can just use his Q ability to run away and never die, and he can use his boxes to have extra wards and extra CC and damage if enemies walk into him. So he really excels at controlling areas where you don't want enemies to be able to go through, or at least give them a really hard time to go through. What you see me do here is I check their objectives if they are done, and I want to set up vision there. Additionally, I just try to be as annoying as possible, as it's really hard for them to kill a Shaco that doesn't queue in, as I always have a free flash available with invisibility afterwards. So I kinda just have to annoy the Hecarim here and not really kill him. As you see, he becomes really tilted. He really wants to kill me as I annoy him that much, but it's just so hard for him to chase me. So at the end he becomes so tilted that he runs into Viego without even thinking, and that's the reason why he dies. So you basically wanna bait enemies into chasing you. And how do you do that? You try to be as annoying as possible. Which is basically the most fun playstyle I could imagine. what I do here again is, I see I can't do anything bot lane. So I just run back into mid lane and keep hovering Viego. And when I see him trying to all in the Rumble, I just go in and help him, which secures us a kill on him. Now what you gotta realize about Shaco is, you scale really well. You wanna reach those 1, 2, 3 items, like your Abyssal Mask, with the Demonic Embrace, you see the R boots, your ward item, maybe the Sightful Ward Stone, the support item. You have so much ability haste that you basically can never die, as you can always Q away or place a box in front of you or R and dodge something or throw your R into the enemy. And additionally, you place so many boxes everywhere that the enemies just can't walk through them anymore. If they walk into them, they just die. Or for example, if an enemy assassin wants to engage on your backline and he just jumps into the box, he just dies. What can you do? And that's basically why you wanna spend the whole early game time to keep the game running. You can't really do much, but you can be annoying and drag out the game. And generate gold with all your support items, your first strike, and with everything. The 4 man divers here, and you can't really do much. What you try is to set up boxes for them to walk in, to distract them with your clone, to let the clone explode into their face so they get CC'd, just to keep them on the tower as long as possible and to keep your attention down in bot lane. Because they send 4 people bot lane to kill you 2 guys. But that means they don't have any people left on the map, and your team can just free scale, take objectives, and take towers.
Killing spree.
You see me here again going mid lane and trying to help Viego, trying to create pressure, and not just going bot lane and sitting there in a bush and watching him farm. So what you see me as well doing here is invading the enemy jungle, setting up vision and trying to be as annoying as possible. As I can, with my slippery champ, I can just walk behind the enemy jungle and he can't really do much about it. I can just annoy him, I can poke him a bit, I can basically make his life miserable, so he tilts. And that's really helpful. Here I basically just fucked up. I should have ulted earlier, which is completely my bad. If you wanna queue in on an enemy, you just have to learn how far they can see and what's the maximum range you can queue from, so he still doesn't see you. Something that is really important, you spike extremely hard with your Liandry's. You wanna buy it as early as possible. So you rarely see me buy anything else or buy boots earlier, because I wanna reach that Liandry's as soon as possible. Here for example I get enough gold to beg for it, so I instantly do it and buy it, as it makes you twice as strong as you were before.
This will be fun.
An enemy has been slain.
And again, you try to be as annoying as possible. You just fight you try to permanently fight the enemies, as it generates gold for you, and you need that gold. And you distract them and you make them angry against you, they wanna kill you over and over again. Sure, maybe it's probably overstay, I shouldn't have died here, but it's so helpful. As Viego can just push freely and get the turret, Cartus can farm for free, and I can just stall out the game, so I can reach the late game.
The joke's on you!
Quick tip here, try to place the box when the tower shoots the cannon minion, as the tower will just prioritize the box as soon as the minion he's shooting dies. And as the cannon tanks way longer, your box can basically shoot for the full duration.
Shut down.
This will be
Enemy killing spree.
And don't hesitate to take kills. Your champ scales really well, so you can really use the gold a lot. I mean, you shouldn't fuck up your laners by taxing waves and stuff, but taking a kill in one shot or twice can be really helpful. You want to try to bait the enemy into your boxes. You can do that by getting low yourself and annoying the enemy by poking him constantly. So he will get angry at you and try to all-in you and walk into your boxes. And try to place them so the enemy can't see you placing them, otherwise they would just know there's a box, and if they play on a certain level they will just not walk into it. Also, like on every champ, try to play around the spells of the enemies. I was really hesitant there to go further in, as I wasn't sure if Rumble still has his ultimate ability or not. And if he has it, I'm basically dead with the amount of HP I have there.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
You see me swap the support item here. Try to hold the first support item as long as possible, until you have to leave the shop, as you will get more gold generation from a fully stacked support item than a new one. I think it's like 1 gold more every 10 seconds or something. But still a bit. Here I kinda fucked up. What you can do with Shaco is you walk in with, if the enemy is at your tower, you walk in with next to him, and if they have AoE abilities like Q or something like Sunfire, they will hit you and they will receive the turret aggro while not seeing you, so they are kinda surprised and take like 2-3 turret shots. Which I kinda fucked up here, as I just dodged the Q with my arm. And normally you go Demonic Embrace as the second item, but here as the enemy has his Raka and my team isn't really building anti-heal, I just decided to go the anti-heal item.
An ally has been slain.
Especially against champs with area of effect damage abilities, try to just send your clone into them. Like here the Rumble ult basically, the Rumble ult just kills my clone and it explodes in his face. And I can freely walk away. What you see me do a lot, and also what I talked about in the beginning, is to create areas where you think a fight will happen. And there you have to spread boxes around, so you or your teammates can just bait enemies into them and win the fight, as your boxes become really strong at this point in the game.
An ally has been slain. An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain. Enemy killing spree.
Now you see me. Now you don't.
Your turret has been destroyed. Your turret has been destroyed. Shut down.
How you see me play these fights is always, I try to stay in the backline. Like I try to throw in my daggers, I try to send in my clone to place boxes. But you rarely see me queue into the enemies, 'cause you don't build AD, you don't do much damage with your auto attacks. Only if you really want to force something you have to go in. Or like try to get in to send your clone deeper into the enemies. But you shouldn't be standing next to their front line trying to auto attack them. You will just die.
This will be fun. Courageous Overguard.
Don't surrender. Your champ scales really hard. Like these tilt surrenders that are coming through every 5 minutes, it's just like... just win late game. Like it's so easy.
Just a little bit closer.
When you set up the objectives, like here I'm trying to set up the Drake with boxes, try to use the plants, especially the vision plants. If the enemy has a vision plant available and can just shoot it over the area, they will see all your boxes and just run through them and destroy them. And your whole setup is fucked and your champ is useless.
This will be fun.
You see me dying quite often in this game, and it's not good to die, of course. I shouldn't be dying that much. But it's also not as bad as you might think if you die correctly. As you can set up your boxes first, you can pull out your clone, and if you bait 1 or 2 enemies into chasing you and killing you, while the others have to fight their team fight on their own, it's not even that bad if you die. As your champ doesn't do much during a fight, as you have to do more before the fight with preparing all the boxes and stuff.
Shut down. An ally has been slain.
Just a little bit closer.
It's really easy to do jungle camps, also on support Shaco, as your boxes are just broken against it. As soon as you got Leandros, you can just freely do the camps if you see no one else is gonna do them, or you just want to take the gold for yourself.
The joke's on you. This will be fun.
as always, don't go in. Let your boxers do the work, throw a dagger or two, then you clone in. Don't queue into the enemies. You will die and you can't place boxes anymore. And half of your kit is your boxes. So if you can't place them anymore, you're kinda useless. And doing objectives, what you can do is you can ult and then send your clone at enemies. So if you slow them, maybe they will attack them, they will get the explosion in their face, receive damage, get feared, get CC'd. So you can basically zone them. Also it generates vision for you, so you can see if enemies are coming from there or not. And they can just run past you. I mean, some try, but some don't.
This will be fun. Now you see me. Now you don't.
Another thing you can do, as said, Shaco is really slippery. You can't really kill him that easily if he doesn't want you to. So instead of just spacing here and defending from the base, which I can't really do, what do? I just shoot a dagger at them and that's it. I try to clear the mini waves and place boxes behind them. So we can collapse on them once my team respawns, as they for sure can't end in these 20 seconds they got here.
Destroyed. Your inhibitor has been destroyed. You have slain an enemy. Turret has been destroyed. The enemy's inhibitor is respawning soon.
Again, we try to set the boxes, make an area where we want to fight, where we have control. And then now, as we reached the point where we have so much ability haste, we can now just engage onto the enemy from behind. Like our Q has like 4 seconds cooldown, we have boxes, we have our clone. What are they gonna do? They're confused. To which side do they fight now? Where is the enemy coming from? What do we do? They don't really have a clear front line anymore.
Your team has destroyed an inhibitor. Killing spree.
As you can see there, I got a double kill by not doing anything. It was just because I placed boxes there before, and the fight actually happened there.
Has been slain.
So the enemies fought in my boxes and I basically died to them, without me even being there.
Your team has destroyed an inhibitor.
Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something, and yeah, see you next time.